How to know if you are a witch? If that question lingers in your mind, if something inside you stirs at the thought, then you might already have your answer. Maybe you've always felt different, sensing things others don't. Maybe you feel drawn to the moon, the ocean, the forest, like they're speaking to you in a language just beyond your grasp. Maybe your dreams are vivid, your intuition unnervingly accurate, or you feel an unexplainable pull toward the mysteries of the unseen. But you also hesitate. You wonder if it's all in your head. And when you search for answers, you find nothing but cliches, shallow lists that reduce witchcraft to loving black cats and wearing crystals. You deserve more than that. You deserve the truth. That's why I created this video. There's so much ignorance, so much misinformation. People think witches are just fantasy or aesthetic or worse. They think of witches as something evil. And then there are those who claim to teach, but they peddle nonsense, feeding on people's desire for mystery without offering real knowledge. Many seekers, especially students of Templum Dianae, have told me they need guidance, that they feel lost in a sea of conflicting voices. And so here I am, to strip away the illusions, to give you something solid to hold on to, and to help you answer that question in a way that truly matters. The biggest obstacle people face when trying to discover if they're a witch is confusion. They don't know where to start, they don't know who to trust, and worse, many never go beyond curiosity because they're afraid. And they should be. Because without the right guidance, this path can be dangerous. There are groups out there waiting to prey on those searching for power, belonging, or knowledge. Sects and cults that masquerade as spiritual communities, but are nothing more than traps designed to strip you of your free will. If you don't know what you're doing, you might stumble into circles that demand blind obedience, groups that will manipulate you, make you feel indebted, or pressure you into actions that go against your soul. And once you're caught, escaping is harder than you think. But danger doesn't come only from those who seek to control you. It also comes from ignorance. If you dive into witchcraft without understanding, you can lose control. You might play with energies you don't know how to handle. You might open doors you can't close. Spirits, energies, forces. These things are real, and they don't take kindly to being called upon by someone who isn't ready. If you don't have protection, if you don't know how to ground yourself, if you let yourself be swept away by the promise of power without the discipline to wield it properly, you can shatter your mind. You can become obsessed, paranoid, or worse, haunted by things you cannot name. And let's talk about what happens if you do nothing. If you ignore this call, if you suppress that feeling inside you that says you are meant for something more, you don't just stay the same. You lose something. You remain stuck in cycles of pain, betrayal, and helplessness. You keep falling into relationships that drain you. You keep repeating the same mistakes. People lie to you, use you, take advantage of your kindness, and you don't even realize it until it's too late. You feel like life is happening to you, like you have no control. That's what happens when you reject your own power. And that's the real tragedy. Not knowing what you could have been if only you had dared to step into the path meant for you. This is where I introduce myself. I speak from Templum Dianae, the global reference for esotericism and spiritual awakening. We don't sell illusions. We don't tell you what you want to hear. We tell you what you need to know. Our tradition is built on solid knowledge, on real experience, on guidance that ensures you walk the path safely without falling into traps or delusions. We don't just teach spells, we teach transformation. Because that's what witchcraft really is. It's not about throwing herbs into a pot and making a wish. It's about taking control of your destiny. It's about waking up from the lies you've been told about who you are and what you're capable of. One of our most essential teachings is found in Lilith, the Dark Goddess. And before you dismiss this as just another book, listen carefully. This book isn't about reading a story. It's about stepping into your power. It's about facing your shadows, confronting the parts of yourself you've been taught to fear, and emerging from that battle stronger than ever. Lilith isn't just a myth. She's a force, an energy, a key to unlocking your potential. If you resonate with rebellion, with the desire to break free from oppression, with the hunger for something deeper than the lies you've been fed, then you need this book. You can find it in the first comment in the description, but we'll get back to that later. Now let's talk about how to truly know if you're a witch. Forget what you've read on mainstream blogs. The signs aren't about fashion choices or hobbies. They're about something deeper, something that has always been inside you. You might be a witch if you feel the pulse of the moon inside your bones, if your dreams speak to you in symbols and whispers, if animals seem to understand you more than people do. You might be a witch if you feel things before they happen, if you know when someone is lying even when they swear they're telling the truth, if you sense energy in a room the moment you walk in. You might be a witch if you've always felt like an outsider, like you don't belong in the mold society tried to force you into. If you felt drawn to the old ways, the forgotten knowledge, the things that make people uncomfortable because they challenge what they've been taught to accept without question. You might be a witch if you felt a presence in the dark that didn't scare you but felt familiar, if you've heard your name whispered in the wind, if you've ever felt an unshakable certainty about something you couldn't logically explain. But here's the thing. Feeling these things isn't enough. You have to act on them. A witch isn't just someone who experiences magic. It's someone who learns to control it, to shape it, to harness it with discipline and wisdom. And that's where Templum Dianae comes in. We don't leave you stranded with vague notions and empty words. We give you the tools, the structure, the protection you need to walk this path without losing yourself in the process. And if you want to take that first real step, Lilith, the dark goddess, is waiting for you. This book doesn't just tell you about Lilith. It guides you through her transformation, showing you how to undergo the same rebirth. If you've ever felt trapped in a cycle of betrayal, of heartbreak, of being silenced or overlooked, Lilith is the answer. She is the embodiment of the one who refuses to be tamed, who walks away rather than submits, who chooses exile over a life of servitude. And if you feel that fire inside you, if you recognize that struggle as your own, then you need to read this book. It's not just a guide, it's a mirror that forces you to see yourself as you truly are, in all your raw power and untamed beauty. And don't think for a second that this is just about mythology. This is about your life, about the relationships that have drained you, the betrayals that have broken you, the lies you've told yourself to survive. This is about transformation, about burning away the false self you were forced to wear and stepping into the truth of who you are. If you've ever been abandoned, if you've ever loved someone who didn't love you back, if you've ever given your heart to someone who only wanted to control you, then you need this. Because Lilith's journey is your journey. And by understanding her, by working with her, you learn how to reclaim what was stolen from you. So if you're still wondering, if you're still questioning whether or not you're a witch, let me leave you with this. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. You wouldn't be drawn to this knowledge, to this path, to this fire if it wasn't already inside you. The real question isn't whether you're a witch. It's whether you're ready to claim it. To stop doubting, stop hesitating, and start stepping into your power. If you are, then you already know what to do. Lilith, the dark goddess, is in the first comment below. Start there and see what happens when you stop running from who you were always meant to be.